And welcome back, everybody, to another 3D Hangout. I'm Noe Pedro Ruiz, designer here at Adafruit. Joining me every week is Mr. Pedro Ruiz.
What's going on, everybody? I'm Pedro Ruiz, creative tech here at Adafruit, and every week we come to share 3D printed projects featuring electronics from Adafruit.
That's right, this is a show we combine 3D printing and DIY electronics to make inspirational projects for you folks. Welcome, everybody, in the chat room. We are streaming live on YouTube and Facebook. Thank you, everybody, for joining us today. Shout out to everybody in the chat room.
Quick shout out to James, Stuff with Kirby, Sean, Red Redo Strike, Tuna, Jim, always in the house, Christian, and 3D Dragon?
3D Drengen.
Thank you all for joining us.
Thank you guys for joining us today.
This is episode 127 on Wednesday, not Thursday. We still got to update that graphic.
Right.
We keep saying that every week.
Every week.
We'll get to it eventually.
Yeah, we'll get to it eventually. It's a little tough because it's an After Effects file and I have to kind of massage it in the right way. Anyway, it is Thursday. I mean, it is Wednesday. Wow, I am bad. And we have a coupon code today. Today it's Adaflex.
That's right. Use discount code Adaflex to get 10% off your order. Expires at 11:59 p.m. tonight.
Works on everything except Adabox and gift certificates.
Mm-hmm.
We also have a deal going on for anybody who orders stuff for $200 more. You get free ground shipping service from UPS for folks in restrictions apply.
Yeah.
Yada yada.
And certain zip codes in the New York area get same day in delivery. Put your order in for, I believe, 11 a.m. You'll get it so right around 5 p.m. in the afternoon. So definitely take advantage of that. We also got our Adafruit daily newsletter.
That's
if you want
still
to sign up
happening.
for that.
Yep.
We got everything from electronics to 3D printing to wearables to MicroPython. So definitely check those out for daily tips,
Yeah.
tricks, and more.
Yeah, you have to opt into so you have to go to the website, adafruitdaily.com, if you want to do that. Let's go ahead and jump into today's learning guide. This week, we are ramping up on some projects, and we wanted to revamp the Ninjaflex guide. So we did a little bit of a rework on the guide. I'm just trying to load that. There we go. So if you go to the guide for Ninjaflex, there's a lot of new stuff in there. There's some new slice settings, and another thing that I did was I created a new playlist. I thought we had like maybe 5 or 6 videos that use Ninjaflex in projects, but we actually have 27. So we've been using Ninjaflex for a lot of different projects, and here's a nice playlist, go-to playlist to see exactly what we've done with it, and just to kind of organize everything and make sure I sorted it in the way that it's like been published, so you can check those out and see back in time. If you haven't seen the older projects, there are some pretty cool ones. It started off with just kind of doing these cool wearables, and then we were diffusing them, and then it made really good cases and bumpers. So there's a lot of different things you can do with Ninjaflex, and it's kind of the only material that can kind of make these type of projects, so it's kind of neat. And for Time Lapse Tuesday, Pedro used a TPU, kind of like a Cheetah Flex, to make these landing gears. So that was on Time Lapse Tuesday. And I will most likely come out with this the Apple Watch wristband later today. So I'm going to upload that and get that out. So check it out. If you want to pick up some Ninjaflex, we do have quite a few of them in the shop. So we actually have a category just for flexible filaments. They come in all sorts of colors, 2 different diameters. We carry the 285 version and the 175 version. Cheetah is kind of the replacement for Semiflex. If you guys remember, Semiflex was supposed to be the the brother to Ninjaflex, or is a little bit better to print with. So we have Cheetah Flex in 2 colors. You can check those out.
Yeah,
lots of Ninjaflex, lots of colors.
So the top differentiator between the Cheetah and regular Ninjaflex is the Cheetah Ninjaflex does not have the elongation, so it doesn't feel like a rubber band.
Yeah.
And also like a rubber band, it doesn't have like that grippy texture material or properties. So if you wanted to make like a one of the projects that we used it in for the review was making these couch cushions, or like these little feet, so the couch would not slide across a tiled floor.
Right.
So if you need properties that require like sort of gripping things, like for making like prosthetics, like for the fingers, things like that, it's better to use the regular Ninjaflex.
Yeah. So we got a couple of settings and stuff. I'll throw out a disclaimer there. The recommended print setting for Ninjaflex is 235. If you look at their data sheet, they do talk about if you do print it hotter than 230C, you're going to get some thermal decomposition. So if you are worried about safety stuff, definitely check out the safety data sheet, and always want to have proper ventilation when you're printing anything. You are melting plastic, or at least making it malleable, so have your proper ventilation, and consider getting a HEPA filter. We always have them running in our house, so that's always a good thing to have. So personally, we found 240C to work really well with all of our prints, so that's why we extrude it a little bit hotter than the recommended extruder temperature. As far as bed adhesion, I really like printing on the Print in Z-Skin or blue tape. That works really well. If you have glass bed, you want to heat it up because it won't stick to glass unless it's heated. So it's 50 to 65C on that one. It does work with Bowden printers, mainly really the Cheetah stuff. That's kind of why there is Cheetah Ninjaflex, because it's a lot better for the Bowden type of printers, specifically like the Ultimaker 2 that we have back here, and the Sigma BCN 3D, although that one can print regular Ninjaflex as well. So it's really going to vary, and it's really hard to pinpoint and say, how do you print Ninjaflex with this printer or this printer? I just saw a comment came in, how do I print? I knew somebody was going to ask, how do I print Ninjaflex on the Prusa i3? I don't know. I don't have one, but try these base settings and then and let us know how it goes. I did ask folks if you have any tips or suggestions on how you print Ninjaflex. Please let us know in the comments, because I think when people search for how to print with Ninjaflex, they'll most likely come up with our video and other videos, and the more comments on how they print it successfully, the better. I think this is a community, and giving that feedback and having it that way, folks will have lots of information on how to print it directly. And another thing, if you kind of get stuck, you can always reach out to Ninja Tech, which is like Fender Drives' is kind of subsidy company that makes Ninjaflex. You can always reach out to them on Twitter or email. I have that listed in the YouTube video. I'll list it as well in the guide. And this guide is just going to keep growing. We're not going to like leave it. We're going to keep adding to it and improving on it so that folks can go there and see all this kind of brain dump of all the stuff that we've done with it. So that's my spiel on Ninjaflex. There's obviously lots of things that you can do with it, but printing with it seems to be the main thing that everybody wants. Here we go. Smart Rig says that for the Prusa i3 MK2, he uses 235 and 240, up to 240. A lot of the times, it really depends on what you're printing, the object. So I recommend printing slow, right? The whole thing is supposed to be really hot and slow. But I have found some objects print okay, faster. So like 60 millimeters a second. Better and faster. Well, yeah. So mainly things like a unicorn horn that only has 2 perimeters, so it's spiraling upwards. Things like something that's like just a bumper that doesn't have a lot of surface area. That type of stuff can be printed a little bit faster because it doesn't have to lay down so much surface area on the bed. The next thing I wanted to talk about was printing Cheetah Ninjaflex on the Ultimaker 2 Plus, yeah? So these two are actually printed with TPU filament. So the black one is Cheetah from Ninjaflex, and this one is actually from Ultimaker. Ultimaker makes their own flexible filament. They just call it TPU Ultimaker filament. I printed them both at 240C, and for the speed, 30 millimeters a second, with a 0.06 nozzle. So it was a thicker nozzle, and it worked fine. It worked pretty well, actually. They're really, really strong. This is how you can tell if you have good layer adhesion or not. I literally can't rip that off. These are little nubs. You would think that they would kind of be an issue. There's a little bit of cleanup. With any Ninjaflex thing, you kind of have to clean up. I did have retraction enabled, so that's when the filament's being kind of retracted when printing to kind of prevent oozing. But because of the nature of TPU filament, you always get oozing. It's always kind of oozing out of the nozzle, so you do have to kind of clean it up. The more of these type of geometries and features that you have in your part, the more you're going to have to kind of clean up. So just take that into consideration. So again, these two were printed with the Cheetah Flex and TPU from Ultimaker on the Ultimaker machine using a 0.06 nozzle. It's not as elastic as Ninjaflex, so I can't kind of stretch it this way. You can kind of stretch it that way, which works pretty well, but this regular Ninjaflex can be stretched a lot more. So this is regular Ninjaflex printed on a FlashForge Creator Pro with 2 different colors. Not dual extruded, just kind of printing a different color on top of this black Ninjaflex. Another thing worth noting is that Ninjaflex can be dual extruded with multiple, with different types of materials. So for PLA, you can print on top of PLA to have multiple different types of properties, right? We've also printed it with a conductive PLA, so you can make wearable flexible circuits. So we did a project like that previously. If you look back at the Ninjaflex playlist, you will see that listed there, which is pretty neat. So still doing a lot of different things with Ninjaflex. Really what inspired me was Chris Young, who had the issue of printing Ninjaflex on his PrinterBot Plus. I just told him to print at 240C. He was printing at 235C. And it worked. So another thing that I found was printing or just loading filament can kind of be a problem if you're printing too fast. If your feeder is like going too fast, you can get a clog. I actually got a clog while filming the video on the PrinterBot Simple Metal 2017-2016 version, and all I had to do was just kind of slow it down to extrude it. So. Lots of things there. Cool. I'll go ahead and take some questions now if anybody has any specific questions or anything that kind of jumps out at me.
So there is not a conductive Ninjaflex available.
No, but you can.
They might be working on it. I don't know.
I don't know.
Shouldn't be too hard to mix those two materials together.
The conductive PLA that we do have is kind of semi-flexible.
It's a little flexible. It's not like a Ninjaflex flexible.
Snap. Like the cool stuff about this Ninjaflex stuff is you really can't break it.
Mm-hmm.
You can cut it, you can poke holes in it and sew to it, but you kind of can't rip it apart. Maybe if I really tried, I could. But it's pretty awesome that it's super strong. Some features like these little nubs here, or these little kind of sockets.
You can't even bend those.
I can't even bend them because they're so strong. So again, it depends on what you're printing. Mm-hmm. Something like this, like it's just way too strong. It's funny because it's only 2 or 3 perimeters thick. And that's pretty awesome. And you know, this was printed with a 0.6 nozzle, so you do get thicker layers.
Mm-hmm.
But it worked out really well. There's still a lot of things to try out too.
Yeah.
So we'll let you know as we come up with new projects and new discoveries. We'll let you guys know.
Yeah. So one of the other Ninjaflex dual extruded, or not dual because you can print right on top, like you're going to talk about just in a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
For this dual color strap is the VR goggles that we did I think like 3 years ago.
Those were the first like dual. Well, it wasn't really dual extrude. Just like print this
right on
and
top,
then print on top of it.
That's when we first discovered that PLA and Ninjaflex fuse very well together.
Yeah.
Even having a short amount of time of pausing between swapping out the filaments, it fuses very nicely.
Yeah, I think one of the cool things about having the Ninjaflex playlist on YouTube is to really show people some project ideas. I think there's a little bit of a barrier to like, okay, I have this Ninjaflex, what do I do with it? You really kind of have to come up with a project that utilizes it. The easiest thing is to make a mobile case for your mobile phone or your device. I made a case for my Apple remote. That was really useful because if you drop it a certain way, the glass is going to break because it has glass, right? So something as simple as that is a really cool project. And then, of course, wearables, like these wristbands, like that's like the #1 thing, I think, or #2, whatever thing.
Yeah.
One of the top things to do with Ninjaflex.
Yeah, and also, like you were saying before, diffusion. When we did a lot of the spikes and wearables like that, it diffuses light. Excellent.
Yeah. So if you want to pick up some Ninjaflex, we have some great deals on it.
Yeah, one of the funniest things that when we were looking at other resellers.
Well, folks could probably get it cheaper at Fender Drives, the manufacturers of Ninjaflex. They actually sell it for $52. We sell it for $50. MatterHack sells for $50. Any other distributor is going to sell for $50. So it's kind of hard to get it cheaper. But we have that coupon code, so you can get that actually cheaper. Yeah. Maybe you can get it cheaper on Amazon. By all means, get it in the cheapest place you can. But you do support us if you get it from us. So
I just quickly wanted to show the diffusion on this because it makes the entire band glow. It's a little bit too bright to see, but it does an excellent job of diffusing light. Just a couple millimeters away from it too will let you eliminate the entire thing. I still like that
story of we had Ninjaflex in 2012, right? Was it 2012, 2013? It sat around for like maybe a year till we actually figured out what to do with it. One of the first things we did with it was a wearable project of just making like these little diffusers cups for NeoPixels, and it works really well. For cosplay props, we made these horns. We made unicorn horns. We made
little
stego
buttons,
spikes. Little buttons and things. It's really nice for kind of sharp things because it's soft and squishy. Pretty cool. So if you're looking to make kind of costume stuff, cosplay stuff, it works really well.
So a quick question, when will the new printer guide be out? I completely forgot we even had that. That was actually written by Matt Griffin, who's now at Ultimaker.
Oh, the buyer's guide?
Yeah.
It's not public?
No. When will it be updated is what he's asking.
Oh my.
Which sort of brings us to us being able to say that, all the printers that we have in the shop have the ability to print Ninjaflex.
Or a type of Ninjaflex, yeah.
So them 3D micros are able to print in the Cheetah Ninjaflex.
Right.
The Type A machines is able to print both the Cheetah, Semiflex, and the original Ninjaflex.
Same thing with the FlashForge Creator Pro. That can print out any type of Ninjaflex that you throw at it.
The Ultimaker 2 Plus is able to print it with a 2.85, but that one is for Cheetah.
Yes,
the original
ideally
Ninjaflex.
For Cheetah. You probably could print with regular Ninjaflex, but you'd have to print like really slow, maybe 15, 20 millimeters a second.
And then you run into the problem having the little bubbly characteristics.
You could have some bubbly characteristics.
And then the Ultimaker 3, I think they're actually releasing a print core that's going to be optimized for TPU. Okay. So soon.
Great.
And let's see, another question. Yes, PLA and Ninjaflex fuse excellent together. So good that when I was doing the testing for the VR goggles, trying to rip it apart, I just would not.
It just sticks really well. It fuses well. What doesn't it fuse good to? I don't know yet. I don't think we've had a bad, did we try printing it with copper fill and it didn't work or something like that? I don't think we've tried it.
Yet.
I just haven't had a project where it kind of needed it. Right? You could just kind of print a benchy and then switch out the material and see. That'd be kind of an interesting test, is to print all sorts of different types of materials, swapping them out like a benchy with maybe somebody's done that, where it's this is benchy but printed in copper fill, coffee, PLA, Ninjaflex, Semiflex, Cheetah, all of them, all the things in one print.
Yeah.
It probably could work.
So Stuart, who asked the question, is saying that he met the printer guidelines and temperature. So if you check the learning guide, that is what's been updated for the
for Ninjaflex, yeah.
For Ninjaflex, yeah.
Yeah, I'll have the link below, or if you look at the YouTube video, I have the link there.
So check those out. So in this week's Layer by Layer, you have...
Actually, we were going to do...
what are we prototyping?
Yeah, Pedro's got some pretty cool projects going on.
Yeah, so...
We got a new thing in the shop.
You want to bring that up on the website?
Oh, sure.
So, inspired by the very awesome Naomi Wu, a.k.a. Sexy Cyborg, she got these, or turned us on to a supplier who had these very cool blackout LED panels. So these are primarily used in welding glasses. So what they do is they have the ability to turn on the shade, turn it off, so you can see through it, or black these out. They are polarized, so primarily they're for protecting your eyes when you have like a super bright spark going on. In our case, we want to use it for when we're testing out super bright NeoPixels, and it does make sense to keep updating our brightness code. We just want to adjust stuff around. It does an excellent job of knocking down how bright things are. So you can see there.
Wow.
On, off.
That's awesome.
And one of the first things that people had for ideas when we got these in the shop was, oh, let's make some glasses with them. So here we are. Nice little set of glasses for that. I think you should be able to see me turning them off and on. There you go.
Yeah,
you kind of see my
nice.
nose. There you go. Boop, boop. Very cool. So, super simple circuit. It just has a 105 milliamp hour battery inside here with a 220 resistor inside there to drain out the when you're blocking out the LCD panel, and then a slide switch. I think 2 JST connectors just to be able to easily swap out the battery, and of course the 3D printed frame for this. And of course you should be able to update all of the files, so if you have like larger nose bridge or the length of the arms for the lenses. And it looks pretty stylish. The only thing that if you wanted to use these for welding, obviously you'd have to get more protection around your face for that.
Maybe something that isn't going to melt when sparks fly into it.
And
I don't recommend
hold
it.
on pretty well.
Yeah. Okay. They're not custom fitted just for your face, are they?
I mean, I updated the design until it fit my face, so where they wouldn't fall off. So yeah, you should have the ability to update these inside the Fusion 360 file. Next week I'll release these and I'll take a look at all the circuitry inside these. But
this is cool.
It's a very nice little
As you were
design.
coming
I
up
like
with
it.
these, I was thinking of what's the practicality of this. And I remembered watching a mini documentary on YouTube. I think it was Great Stories YouTube channel, and it was about a gentleman who kind of is legally blind, but he can see the stars at night. So I wonder if something like this, where he could make his own kind of shades, because he kind of, wears shades, but to be able to turn them off and on might be a useful thing for folks.
Yeah.
So if you guys have any ideas, let us know.
Like we're saying,
from accessibility standpoint, I think this could be pretty useful.
Other sorts of projects, where John Park talking about having like a project with like a TV, where like an escape room sort of project where something is flashing, but these are able to turn on at a certain refresh rate, so you can see something on the television where somebody who's not wearing these are not able to see that.
Going with the theme of the escape room type projects, I think that might work.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
So they're able to fold, of course, and the hinges. Figured out how to make better hinges without making them like super large. It's just a piece of, what's it called?
It's a paper clip.
Paper clip,
you just cut the
chopped
paper
up.
clip and insert it in there. Cool.
So super cool little design. We'll release these next week.
Yeah, we have to kind of start taking photos of the builds and remaking it, and then writing a guide and making a video for it. So Pedro's literally just kind of printed this like a couple minutes ago, right? You just finished printing
just
the piece. Refining it. Until
making sure everything fits. Like what I was updating was making sure that these the hinges for these worked, so that you could collapse these properly, and then the angle for these so that it doesn't go at a certain...
Is there some sort of end stop so it doesn't go all the way out?
Yeah. I mean, we'll talk about it next week, but yeah,
cool.
There's a lot of little tiny little design things that go in there to make sure that the UX for this is very nice. So it's all comfortable, it's all nice, and again, one of the most useful things I think for these is going to be when we're testing out NeoPixels. We don't want to keep
NeoPixels and like put these.
I know, because that's one of the things I hate is having to adjust the code just to lower the brightness on these, because If you ever work with NeoPixels, you know that these are incredibly bright, even at like a 30% brightness.
Sure.
So super cool little project there. Lots of use cases in terms of cosplay or like just revealing things that are like underneath or whatever. Shout out to 18 Makers in the chat room asking.
Hey, Bill Binko.
Yeah, Bill Binko is asking if there's a way to add a light sensor to have these automatic. I'm sure you could.
Absolutely.
Absolutely, yeah. The only reason why I'm making these so simple is that so people just have like a baseline to build on top of, and of course because of this is pretty packed inside here already.
Really?
Super small, like it's so lightweight that I'm able to move these around in my head without them falling out. But yeah, I'm sure you could get like maybe like a photo cell like right in the middle would work very well.
The frame.
So lots of possibilities for this. We'll talk more about the circuitry and the design and all that stuff next week. So cool. That is what I am prototyping.
Nice.
Very cool.
Thanks for sharing that.
I kind of like how they look like a Snapchat sort of theme with the neon
the color. Yeah, they kind of do.
glow there.
So we have them in the. Are they in stock?
They should be, yeah. So
yeah.
Again, yeah.
There
Another
we go.
big thanks to Naomi who was
helped
using
us source these. Yeah. So that's what's awesome about the community. You get this nice feedback of like, hey, where'd you get that product? And she's like, oh, I got it from here, and we worked something, and now we have them in stock. So check them out. Yeah.
Okay, let's see. Next up, we have.
I think we're gonna do layer by layer.
Layer by layer.
Cool. So this week I have more about slicing and coming up with processes. So specifically, what I want to show you guys is how I put this together. This looks like it's dual extruded, right? But it's actually not dual extruded. It's just printed 2 G-code files, and the second one is printed that tells the printer to start at a certain height. So you can just print right on top of another print. You've probably seen this before, but I just kind of wanted to show you guys it again if you haven't seen it yet. So let me load up here Simplify 3D and then shoot us over there. Here we go. So this is that sort of second wristband piece, and it's just one STL, it's one solid file. And what you want to do is, let me go ahead and delete this process. So the cool thing about Simplify, this is specifically for Simplify 3D. I'm not sure if you can achieve this type of thing in Cura or another slicer, but when you make your processy, if you go over to the Advanced tab, there's this thing called Layer Modifications, and by default it's turned off. There's nothing there. But what I want to do is tell the printer to stop printing at a certain height. So in this case, I want it to be 1 millimeter. Reason being because the wristband itself is only 1 millimeter thick. That's the way I designed it. So if I hit OK, and then I preview that G-code, you can see it's not printing those extra bits, right? It's just printing this one piece. You can step through it and see, yep, that's all it's printing. So now what we can do is we can create another processy, just hit the Add button, and then go back into the Advanced tab and then change the layer modification to say start printing at 1 millimeters. So now when I preview processing number 2, and I only make that, you can see it's only printing the hexagon pattern and this kind of little tube, right? And you can see here, if you look at it at this angle, it's floating in the air. Reason being because you're telling it to print at 1 millimeter height. So when you print this first one, you let it print, leave it on the bed, and then kick off this second print, and then it'll, you want to switch the filament out once the print's done, and you can get this, you can achieve this sort of stacking the layers on top of each other. You can obviously do this by kind of manually switching it out as it's printing, which is kind of risky, or just kind of using the pause feature if your printer has that feature. The FlashForge Creative Pro has this feature where you can tell it to stop at 1 millimeters a second. But I find this one a little bit more efficient because you can kind of preview what you're going to get before you print it. So if you haven't known about it, and if you're looking for a way to do that, this is probably the best way to do it. Leveraging multiple processes in Simplify 3D can be a pretty interesting and practical thing. So there you go. That was my layer by layer. really, really short one, but I think it's quick and kind of useful. So let me guys know if you have any questions on that one.
Oh, cool comment from Lewis from Ultimaker. He's in the chat room. What's going on, dude?
Hey, Lewis.
He's saying that pause at height plugin does this in Cura. It's under the extensions post-processing.
That is awesome. I will have to kind of look at that and then compare the two. But that's what I'm talking about. Thank you. I didn't know it was possible. So
I knew there was a way to pause it right on the onboard screen as well.
Okay.
But again, that's one of those things where you have to like babysit the printer to make sure that happens. On the FlashForge Creator Pro, you do have the ability to pause at a certain millimeter height, so you could do that as well. You could set that off and then, go do whatever, come back, and it should be paused for you.
Oh, I hope, and then you can tell the G-code to start at a certain height, right? Because it's not just about pausing at the height; it's about printing it at a certain height as well. So maybe you can do that as well. I'm not sure. I'll definitely take a look at it.
Other comments from Bill, aka AT Makers, is saying that you could add the trinket on the second arm. It's like, oh yeah, duh. There's two arms. You have two spots for electronics
because you're already
in
routing
there.
one wire through the frame. So yeah, that's a cool idea.
Yeah.
Add more circuitry.
I'm pretty sure that's how John is going to do his project. Attach a trinket or some microcontroller to be able to flash it at a certain refresh rate.
Okay.
So that should be cool. And respond to that to Alan, who ordered some panels but didn't know what to do with them. I think I did the same thing. I just grabbed it just because I thought they would sell out so quickly. Yeah. There's a lot of cool projects you can be doing with those. Let's see.
Cool.
Cool. Next up, we have...
Next up, I want to do shop talk real quick. Okay.
Cool. So, issue 55 of the Raspberry Pi.
Yeah, let me scroll back up. PDFs are a little bit clunky. So, hey guys, did you know a new Raspberry Pi came out? I'm sure you heard about it.
I think
a new issue of the MagPi. That's the official Raspberry Pi magazine came out. Let's take a look at that. It is available as a free PDF, so you can download that. But I recommend if you want a print copy, definitely subscribe to them so you can get a printed copy of it. So PiGRRL was actually featured in the cover of the magazine, which is awesome. Rob, who works with the Pi Foundation, reached out to me and said, hey, can we get some images? Can we feature PiGRRL? I didn't know it was going to be in the cover, so this is a really awesome surprise. And I didn't know, of course, that there was a Raspberry Pi 0W coming out as well. We just didn't, So they did a pretty awesome job from a design standpoint. The typography and the imagery is really nice. So we always try to take high-res photos of all the steps and assemblies, which is really important because then you could feature it in a magazine. This is a perfect case of that. So they broke down most of the kind of the high-level steps. And it looks really phenomenal. So great job, guys, on just coming out with such a cool magazine. So check it out if you haven't already. I think below here, it goes through most of the steps too, like even how to upload files.
Yeah, I thought it was going to be like a tiny little square in the corner with
me too.
Pi. I didn't know it was going to be like a
nice
feature.
Big feature.
It's pretty cool.
Yeah, it's great. And there's a little bit of PiGRRL history, and it's like a nice little feature on me and Pedro, which is kind of neat. Yay, I'm very humble and appreciate that. Thank you so much.
Yeah, there was some little bit of,
what's that?
Some mistakes, I guess I want to say, in terms of them saying that you could use the new Pi 0W.
Like using the PiGRRL 2 as a like, hey, this is a great project for the Raspberry Pi 0W. I'm sure it works, but the case is designed specifically for a Pi 2 and a Pi 3. The only thing that will kind of be a little bit off is the mounting holes are the same, right? Like, they're going to be the same, but the main thing that's different is on the side you don't have these USB ports and the Ethernet ports. You can have like this kind of
and you can route them into there, but that's more work than you want to do.
Route them into there, like add
ports, like panel mount ones. I know it's definitely gonna be a lot more bigger.
So what I definitely want to do is actually rework the PiGRRL. The horizontal model, because obviously I made another PiGRRL 0 where it's kind of this, well actually I said the vertical one is what I want to do, not the horizontal one. Yeah. So there's still lots of opportunities and,
so every
things
year
you can do with the PiGRRL type of builds. Last week we featured Andrew's DIY Engineering's David Johnson, his project where he took the project and just made a beautiful case, and milled out the buttons. There's always opportunities to make your own kind of spin off of it. You can add potentiometers for audio. You can add audio jacks, and there's so many different things you can do with it. I really see it as like the classic Raspberry Pi project. If you don't know what to do with the Raspberry Pi, get RetroPie first, and then try to putting in a package later, right?
Yeah.
So cool stuff.
Yeah. So every year we come out with a new Raspberry Pi.
We try to,
PiGRRL project. So the next one's coming up for this year is going to be a Pi 3 inside one, and I guess the new Pi 0W.
Yeah.
So
the W
keep on
stands for
look out
wow.
for though. Look out for that. Pretty soon, I think, after your next project, you're going to start on that.
Yeah.
And then I'm going to redo the little mini laptop computer. I'll redo that one since.
Great. Yeah.
Wow, the last time we did those projects, we were still using 123D design.
Were
so you? Yeah.
So it's not really parametric. There's lots of opportunities to kind of
everything's
make it
going to be
adjustable.
updated. Exactly. Yeah. It was a pain in the butt to do that because you'd have to make duplicates of every object and geometry so that
maybe save out different versions. I remember those days.
That was a pain in the butt.
It was a little bit tough.
Nothing was parametric. Yeah.
Not being able to see your solids.
Oh my God.
It's
It's like working in Photoshop with no
wacky.
layers, or
Yeah,
everything is just merged together.
Whoa.
It's not a good way to work.
Yeah. Okay. Community Makes. I have one this week, guys. If you have any projects that you'd like to share with us, please do. You can get a hold of us on Twitter, Instagram, emails. You can email us at support@adafruit.com. I got the Twitter handles up there. I'm always looking to share your projects, so please let me know. This week, I have one project that I was able to find. Let me go back to the web. Have you heard of this company called Netflix? You know who Netflix is?
I think there's a popular saying.
It's a streaming service. I think I've heard of them before. Anyway, Netflix has a kind of dedicated DIY projects that revolve around their streaming service. It's called makeit.netflix.com. And they have lots of different projects. One of the first ones, I think, was the Stranger Things project. This month, they came out with one called Personal Trainer. So they kind of taking some it feels a little bit like the learning system where it's a nice guide and they show you how to put together. They give you a full list of materials. They open source the design. So this is basically using the Adafruit Pro Trinket, an Bluetooth audio module from DigiKey, and a handful of other modules, an accelerometer, LiPo battery, and they kind of manufactured their own PCB. Now, I don't think the PCB is, it's covered.
Yeah, just move it up just a little bit over.
I don't think I can. Let me see.
Oh, there you go.
That might work. That might not work.
Let's see.
We're basically looking at Wirecast, and I think it's not going to work, right? No.
I mean, you could go check out. Sorry.
Yeah, you're going to have to check it out. I'm sorry that the chat room is
kind
kind of overlaid on top of it. Wait, maybe is it going? I don't know.
I'll continue, sorry.
Anyway, they just did a great job on documenting their project and showing how to build it. But basically, you can connect the device to your mobile tablet or your mobile phone, and basically, it's like the scenario is that you are kind of how hard you want to work out, and if you go below that threshold, then you'll get a little motivational kind of wording from your character, whatever character. I guess they give you some MP3s that you can use, and it'll say, "Hey, you need to stop. You need to work faster. Keep going."
That's pretty cool.
And it will
actually
even pause your Netflix stream until you get back and start working out again. So it's kind of a fun little thing. Personal trainer. So they did a phenomenal job with the kind of build itself. Like I just like how they did that. Very nice.
Nice job. Kirby in the chat is saying, did we order or did we try making the PCB on the other mill for this? He says it's a 2-layer board, and he ordered some parts.
He wants to build this?
And yeah, he ordered all the parts to build this.
Wow, that's
gonna be cool. It'd be an awesome video.
Yeah.
definitely.
I really haven't seen
know.
anyone make any of the projects, so that's really exciting. Yeah, let us know if you put together a video for it. I'd love to share it too.
Oh, that's interesting. He's saying that it's showing that it's a photon board, but the fritzing and the bomb says that it's a Adafruit trinket. You did notice that.
I did notice that too. Interesting.
Very
And
cool.
the website's a little bit glitchy, but hey, they give you the STL file. They obviously milled it with their CNC router, but you could 3D print it, I guess, as well. They give you the step file, which is really nice. It's open source. They give you the Arduino sketch as well, and now you are ready to crush it. That's kind of cool. Cool.
Very cool.
So check it out. Netflix, guys are doing it up.
Very cool. I like it.
All right, back over to the QA. So let's do some Q&A now.
Yeah, so Bill is saying that he has a consistent need for a feather plus battery plus buzzer case with room for USB out and other wires. Just be a really helpful project that they'd use in assistive technology.
I would love to put that together. I'm going to, can you save that?
Mm-hmm.
Bill, actually I'll reach out to you, Bill. I've been meaning to get in touch with you and come up with, iron out some ideas and see what's doable. Something like that is actually really approachable.
Would be very cool,
Yeah.
Because it's sort of like a universal sort of project you could use for other things.
Exactly.
Very nice. Thanks for the
We're
idea.
trying to, we'll start focusing more on assistive tech projects. I'm finally wrapping up all the things that I had in the pipeline, so I have some time to start planning for the next couple of months, which is great. Cool.
Let's see. There's some other stuff. So James is asking, we're using Wirecast for this, and he was asking,
Oh,
is
our
it
broadcasting software? Yes, it is.
Is it a
Wirecast.
one-time? You just pay for it one time. It's not a subscription.
It is not a subscription. You
But
pay
it-
one license.
But anytime there's a new OS or updates, we do have to pay for those, unfortunately.
Yeah, so I had version 6 when I first started it, and then I had to pay for version 7. I think they give you a discount because you're upgrading from 6 to 7. Yeah.
Lewis is asking, what is our favorite proto pasta filament? That's so easy. Coffee.
Oh, I love the coffee PLA filament. It works really well. I love the look of it. The smell isn't really like it's supposed to be.
It's not coffee.
I
It
don't
smells
really
more
think
like
it smells
a
like coffee.
woody, like maybe
Yeah.
coffee grounds, which I think is what they're using, right?
Yeah.
The coffee grounds.
Could be my nose.
Yeah. I also like their pine stuff, which unfortunately I think they only have like during the holidays,
pine
right?
stuff. It was very labor intensive to make it, from what I heard from Alex. So I still have a little bit left. I'm not using it. I just want to hold on
Special
to it.
occasion, I
It's
know. And then one of the
super
cool
special.
things about the coffee is the transparency.
It's just multi-purpose, yeah. So yeah, you can diffuse it. It is a little bit
And what's
translucent.
cool is that the way that it diffuses, you can still see the actual colors from there. Usually, like, take the purple translucent filament,
Yeah,
and you
it'll-
try diffusing, like, say, green or whatever other color, it's going to look all, like, muddy
Shades of-
because
it's just
the
color
purple
theory.
pigment is in there.
It's just with color theory.
With their coffee filament, the colors stay true when they're diffused through the filament for some reason, and you can still get that like woody, brown texture on it. It looks really good when you're diffusing light
Lewis
through
is
it.
saying he's throwing some love for the matte fiber HDPLA from Protopasta.
So we have printed with that before. They sent us a couple samples.
Yeah.
I think we were doing like a head-to-head comparison of what would make like good drone bumpers. Unfortunately, maybe we didn't do the what's it
You
called?
did annealment?
Annealment. Yeah, maybe I didn't anneal it, but it was very brittle. Like it broke right away.
Yeah, I don't think it's for. Is it for sort of a strong stuff? Yeah,
It has really good
this
texture.
is
yeah.
HDPLA as well. I just find it doesn't suffer from like over oozing.
No, it doesn't ooze much.
Yeah. I found a little bit of a problem when I tried using the matte fiber HDPLA when making keycaps, but that's because they're very, very small, and I should have kind of tweaked the settings a little bit. But this works straight off with regular PLA settings. Cool.
Let's see. ATMaker is saying the current use is to alert when a humidifier or ventilator is low. Many alert projects would use the same case. Oh,
Awesome.
very good
Okay.
idea. I think that's like the best use of 3D printing, where it actually saves your life or makes quality
Absolutely.
of life a lot more better.
Yeah.
That's really cool. Little joke one here from Who said this? That their new Protopasta's new filament is Alfredo.
Oh yeah. Well, they did have bacon. I think it was
Uh-huh.
a specially blended bacon.
Oh yeah,
filament.
yeah. Let's see, any other? I'm trying to scroll through here, but
Yeah.
if you posted before, repeat the question just so I don't have to
Yeah, if
scroll
you missed your
up.
question, please let us know again. If you use your design for the spikes printed in Ninjaflex, do I have to give you credit for it somehow? If so, how would I do that?
You can just bring it back.
Yeah, just
I think the most coolest way
give us
is
a link, I
to.
guess, a link back wherever you publish it. If you
Yeah.
don't publish it, that's fine too.
So both Umagine and Thingiverse have
They
the
all have
ability
a
to put
remix button. Yeah, you
a
can always do
made,
that.
or I think that's the coolest part because then other people looking at it can see, oh, this other people did make this, and just post it.
And what I'd like is if you
picture.
just take a photo of it and send it to us via Twitter or wherever you like to post photos. Share it with us, and we'll share it right back and let people see. We love doing that. But it kind of reminds you of like people can totally sell the printed parts and projects on your Etsy or anything like that. That's fine with us.
Yep.
It would be nice if you give us a nice link and say, hey, this is an Adafruit project, you could build it too.
Yeah.
A lot of folks do that, but hey, if you don't, no big deal really. As long as you still have to get the Adafruit parts, we're fine.
See, Christian's saying, yeah, totally gonna use the LCD panel with the 10-watt LED because those are blinding.
Yeah, those are bright. Cool.
Netman87 is asking, is there a bigger dimmable window available? No, the ones we have in the shop are the ones we're testing out right now. And what's the size of them? It says the size specifications on there. It's like 86 by 46 by 2 millimeters, I want to say.
Okay.
Let's see. And I think that's probably going to be it.
All right, well, we're going to wrap up the show. If you have any questions, you can post them after the show has been published, which takes, I think, about an hour or two. It takes a little bit for YouTube to process it because it is a little bit lengthy. But hey, guess what's happening later tonight? We have Show and Tell. This is where folks around the world come on and share their projects. We invite you to come on with us. It is a Google Hangout or YouTube Hangout, I guess Google and YouTube. It happens every Wednesday at 7:30 p.m. Eastern Time. You can go to the Adafruit Google Plus page and post in the post, right? Yeah. And say, hey, invite me, and we'll invite you to that. So you just have to rate and comment, and that's how we invite you onto the show. Or I can give you a direct link if you hit me up on Twitter. And then after that, of course, is Ask an Engineer. It's a full hour of Lamar and Phil. We have some new projects, products. We'll definitely talk about. They'll definitely talk about the Raspberry Pi Zero and any Arduino news that's happening. Yeah. Always great stuff, and your opportunity to win some Adafruit stuff at the end of the show. That's trivia, and they have questions. Of course, the show is called Ask an Engineer. Tony D happened a little bit earlier, mostly on Thursdays and Fridays. So you can watch Tony do some programming on Circuit Python. Circuit Python is in full swing, still happening. Awesome stuff there.
Can't wait for all the new boards to come out. Oh man!
I can't believe Lamar and Phil did a stream last night at 4 in the morning for the launch of the Raspberry Pi Zero. But not surprising because they've done it before. So
I think last time was 2 o'clock in the morning.
Yeah.
So
fundamentals, you get to watch Lamar design and come up with interesting new products.
I like it because
and coding and
take a lot of suggestions from the chat room as well. So you could have a part in building upcoming products. Very cool.
Right.
Check that out. They have been doing
it
that.
happens randomly, so
I think they've been doing every day for the past 2.5 weeks now.
Yeah,
so definitely tune in for that. Don't forget to hit that little bell button right next to the subscribe button. Okay. If you want to be alerted when those come out.
Right. And it happens on everywhere, like Instagram, Periscope, and Facebook, and Twitter. Phil tries to catch all the things. We don't have fiber yet, but once we have fiber internet connection, we're definitely going to start streaming to Twitch and the others as well. Because right now I can only do 2. So. All right, I think that's all the shows. Again, if you do want to pick up anything from the Adafruit shop, please use the coupon code ADAFLEX. It'll get you 10% off your order, so be sure to use that. And we'll see you later tonight. Again, thank you guys so much for joining us in the chat room. We appreciate you guys joining us live. It is fun with you guys, and we'll see you next week. Anything else, Pedro, you want to say?
I think that's it. Have a great one,
All
everybody.
right, bye, everybody.